All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome on back to the Cinema Lords podcast. And this is going to be our Rings of Power episode 7 recap. Joined by a couple of guys that you guys should know very well at this point. Luke, Moose, boys, what's going on?
Going for 3 in a row now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go for the hat trick.
Been a busy week.
Busy week.
Yeah, doing good. Glad to have all three of us together for one here.
Yeah.
Really dig deep.
First three-headed panel in a while. Since we did the preview for House of the Dragon, it was me, you, and Los. To be fair, though, Los was very limited in that episode. It was like 2.5 people.
Yeah, he was not that up to date on anything.
No,
or he remember last season very well.
Yeah, I think
Didn't do his homework.
I think there was a couple times where he literally said, "He's like, I'm just like the listener right now. Like I'm just catching up with you guys." And I was like, "All right."
Interesting perspective to be on a podcast, be a listener on the podcast.
For real.
Like that's ever happened before.
But yeah, no, we used to do this all the time. Now it has been a grip. But we got a good episode to talk about tonight. I'm very excited for this one. Before we get started, real quick, I know I sound like shit. I kind of feel like shit, and I'll try to keep coughing and sneezing to a minimum.
Flu season.
Yeah. It's that time of year.
Right.
Woke up this morning at like 4 a.m. and I was just like, uh-oh. I felt it in the throat. I felt the congestion coming. I was like, no, not good. And then I fully woke up at 8 a.m. It's not good.
The show must go on.
The show must go on, though. Yeah. New episode, finale tomorrow night. So we're already. Thursday night. I'm sorry. Thursday
already
night.
Tuesday.
When this drops, it'll be tomorrow night because this is going up Wednesday morning. Actually, yeah. If you guys haven't checked it out and you like the show, go check out the fucking back to school draft that we just posted. That was up today. It's a good time. I had a lot of
Fucking
fun.
choked. Oh, I choked so bad. I'm happy to be back on today. I thought I was getting a couple podcast suspension for that horrible choice. Oh, I fucked that one up. And then immediately watched School of Rock afterwards. Made me feel better.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think the pick right there was if you take Fast Times instead of Accepted, you win the draft.
Yeah, it was easy. It was right in my lap, and I
really
fumbled
was.
it.
It
I
was
fumbled
right
the
there.
bag. Like, what do you want me to say? I can't win every one.
Yeah, you had one.
Fumbled the bag.
But whatever. What can we do? But yeah, no, go check that out. All three of us were there, and Los as well. It was a good time, though. It was a good show. I had a lot of fun with it. But on to this week, episode 7, Doomed to Die, which right away, good title. Right away, I was pretty excited. And kind of like we said right off the top, this was a good episode. Might have been my favorite one. This was, either way, if it wasn't my favorite, it's right up there towards the favorite. This was a damn good episode of television.
Phenomenal episode. The only thing that bothers me is the internet community that hated this show, this episode. It drives me up a wall. It's the people that are so loyal to the books that are like, oh, this didn't happen in the book, or in the book it went this way. It doesn't have to go, no pun intended, by the book. If there's bad things that happen in the book that you can turn around into a show and make it good, and obviously vice versa.
Yeah.
The amount of outlash online I've seen for this episode is mind-boggling to me. I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree, especially because they tried to get all the access to all the stuff that actually happened, but they weren't able to buy rights to it. So
yeah.
they're handcuffed a little bit. I'd rather have it than not have anything at all. So
yeah, and we've seen it in the past where they've done their own thing and it's not worked out well. Game of Thrones or something where they took it their own direction with it, but not with this one. I don't get what the outrage was about.
What was the outrage about? Was it anything specific?
It was just there was one scene that I do agree with that was kind of, we'll get to it, that was kind of outlandish, but it was just just people that were just so devoted to the books, and that because it wasn't in the book, they were outraged with it. I don't understand why you could be mad, but people be mad about anything nowadays anyway. They'll find something to be pissy about.
Yeah, they gotta take some creative of their own mind onto it. I mean, otherwise you're just creating hey, that could have worked in some cases. But even The Last of Us, which we just watched the trailer for season 2 of, that's a perfect example. They're so very tied directly to the game, but then they just sprinkle in these little tidbits of their own, creation, and it's nothing over the top. It's still, pretty damn accurate. Yeah. But it's just these little crumbs that they sprinkle in.
Yeah,
obviously.
The couple being gay, right?
No, they're getting the.
Were they? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought that was their own spin for some reason.
Oh no.
But that's
or
much
I mean,
easier,
at least it's heavily hinted.
Yeah, it's much easier to adapt, kind of media too, going from that Last of Us game that's already a 20-hour campaign, whatever, and then compared to turning like Lord of the Rings lore into
True.
into a full TV show. But
Actually, if anything, that's more lore. So I think it's actually in that way, it's actually harder to stay true to everything because there's so much to stay true to. You get what I'm saying? Like you just actually, like you just said, it's a 20-hour game. It's only like it's a limited time. When you have that much fucking shit, it's like, all right, we can't keep all of this information exactly how it is. We'll keep as much as we can, but
It's also 8 1-hour episodes.
Yeah.
And a whole Lord of the Rings lore. That's
For sure.
a massive universe.
right, like this whole battle doesn't take place for like over 100 years after the rings are forged. So like that is like a key thing that would piss off people who are like wanting to be like the Silmarillion. Like,
So what are we going to do? Wait for
but
100 years?
they're trying to condense these like millennia
These long
of these people
timelines.
that never die, and
Yeah.
like it is like a
In
year
an
to them.
8-season episode.
Yeah. So they're just trying to tell the story. They can't be killing people off and then skipping forward 1,000 years just to get to the Battle of Rhaegon.
yeah, with like nothing happening in the process.
Right.
It's just like Celebrimbor was literally working this entire time.
He's just banging a
sick.
hammer for eight episodes. Nice.
Speaking of hammers, that's exactly where we start off. He's finishing the work on the 9 rings. The siege is still going on. He's still completely clueless. But he's like focused in. The first thing it is his hammer, which I was like, I don't know why. He kept looking directly at the gems and shit. I don't know if there was like a stone missing or something like that.
Yeah, well, the hammer supposedly belonged to his like teacher in smithing,
Yeah.
and he's like this legendary guy, and that's kind of the string that Sauron pulled on to get him to do the rings in the first place. Like, don't you want to outshine your master, and
Right.
show that you not only learned everything from him, but you're better than him, and so that kind of symbolizes all of the treachery that Sauron did to him, all the deceiving. It kind of comes down to that hammer, pretty much.
It looks different from the like when whatever you want to like Sauron gave it to him. I think it was last week. It was like fucking looked like it was silver or straight mithril or the whole thing was shiny as shit.
Yep.
And then when he sees it this time, it almost looks like it's not even fucking metal on the
Yeah.
inside. It looks like it's fucking like leather.
Yeah, well, there was also that scene last week when he says he misplaced his hammer or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and then
yeah.
Sauron's
It's
like,
like
"Oh, it's
right
right
by it,
there."
yeah.
So maybe Sauron was trying to put more magic on it and
Right.
missed a small step along the way.
That's something I'm sure we can find pretty quick online, but that's just something I just completely missed. I knew something was wrong and something was different, but I was like, I don't know what specifically.
Right.
And he definitely does notice that the gem is missing. You're right about that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because like they make like they do like that little twinkle with the gems and shit, almost to be like, yo, look at us.
Yep. That's his first glitch in the Matrix that he notices.
Yeah. And then the second one is the mouse scurrying across the floor, and he looks at it, and at first he's just like, yo, what's up, little man? Also notices his dirty reflection, which is like, yo, I haven't fucking stepped foot out of here in a girl.
Haven't bathed in
Yeah.
Yeah.
weeks.
And a like black background behind him instead of this like well lit room. It was like
Oh fuck, I didn't
yeah, it
notice
was
that.
like, there's war outside with a black cloud over.
Yeah.
Miles.
Oh shit, I didn't
Someone's
notice
got a lot
that.
going on right now. He's
Yeah.
he's trying to manipulate a lot of different things
good.
right now. He's
For sure.
missing some details along the way.
Like the amount of ash on his face, he looks like he is outside during the siege. Like,
Yeah,
he's just catching
true.
the fucking smoke of all these fucking catapults and shit. Sauron's being all cute. He's kind of flirting with Celebrimbor, gonna miss his time together. Celebrimbor, though, this guy's done. Which he's gonna say it later on in the episode that he like kind of always knew in the back of his mind who this guy actually was. But this seems like it might have been a prime example of that. Like he was like, all right, like this guy's evil as fuck, and I need him out of my life.
Yes.
Too little, too late.
It is a little too late. Let's see. We see the siege is still going on. Oh, yeah. Sauron's going to throw him under the bus again. Sauron's just like, yeah. Celebrimbor is just like, don't do anything. Just fucking basically stay at your post and don't do any version of an attack. Just so that he can instead take, the leadership role and kind of win over some of the soldiers and the common folk and everybody, really.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'll, lead this shit myself.
Sneaky.
Being the deceiver again.
Yeah.
This part was cool though. I liked the so the orcs are just like I said laying siege to Eregion, and all of a sudden they like turn the catapults, and I thought because we see the trailer the week before, and I was like, oh shit, like here's Elrond already, like right out of the gate, like they're already charging in from behind. I thought they would, you know what I'm saying, turn the fire the other way, but then it turns out they're literally firing at the fucking mountain to basically make like a bridge or a dam or whatever you want to call it to block the river so that they can fucking charge in on foot. I was like, that. It's fucking
Clever.
cool. Yeah, that was clever. I was like, that was cool. The only other thing I have from that is that Arondir arrives too. Who gives a shit? But Sauron looked like confused, like at the end of that scene. You know what I'm saying? Like he looked like he was trying to like piece shit together. Like he not called out, but as it was happening, he was like, "Oh yeah, like they're gonna try to fucking put the ground attack in." He's like, "Let's get the ground troops ready." But after he says that, like at least to me, it looked like he was like trying to piece shit together. Like something was amiss, or he was confused, or something like that.
Like get them together, and then what do I do?
Yeah, I don't know. Just something I noticed. Celebrimbor sees the mouse again. And then he does the little candle mark, which is pretty smart. Takes a little quill or a fucking little marker or whatever you want to call it and fucking makes a little mark on the candle. Yeah. Again, glitches in the Matrix that he's finally starting to see, which he said he's already been in there for, like, I think weeks, they said, so.
Right. He could be doing, like, 60-hour days or something, too. He has no idea what's going on. Like, you know, Sauron just blasts some light in for, like,
True.
all day and all night, and it seems like it's noon all day long.
How long is fucking that mouse? I mean, how many times has that mouse like scurried across that floor?
Well, I was gonna ask, do the books elaborate on how long he's in there working on the rings?
They might. I don't know.
That could be years, or you know,
apparently at least 100 years.
Yeah,
it would seem.
Yeah.
Well, it was like 100 years after they forged the rings of this battle.
Oh, all right, my bad. Yeah. I got you. My bad. We go to fucking Khazad-dûm. King Durin gets word about what's going on. And his response to that is, let's open up the fucking mines right now because we're just sitting on a pile of fucking gold.
Yeah.
Just like, that's your takeaway from that situation is just like, what's going on? Like, it's not even an accurate response. Like, it's not even a response to the situation.
It's just tapped.
It's just, yeah. It's just like, you're so like driven on wealth. Like, you're not even making rational sense anymore at this point. But we see the mining crew. They go back. The ones that were scared off by those fucking bats last week, they come back and they're like, nah, yo, like, we're on your side now.
We saw the cave bats. We're in. Scared the hell out of us. All right, we're in. I'm not going through that again. We're in. That's fucking scary as hell.
Please just don't sing. Don't sing. It's fine. We're here to help.
Don't sing.
Everything's cool, man. Everything's cool. But the most important thing is we find out that Elrond has fucking come back to Khazad-dûm, and he's gonna ask Durin for fucking help. He's gonna basically say that all of Middle Earth is in fucking serious trouble, and we can't win this war without the dwarves.
If you weren't immediately like feet kicking up like a little schoolgirl when you saw them back together again, like, that was my absolute favorite storyline from the first season. Yeah, so you see it back together, you're like, I was just so pumped to see it back together.
Yeah, and the fact that this season, I'd say, has been better maybe than the first season overall. It's impressive that they haven't even gone back to this.
Yeah, right.
The best relationship from the whole first season until now. Like, they're finally getting back to it a little bit. Hopefully, we get more of it.
Really good Durin episode. Yeah. Really good Durin episode.
Great speech coming up.
As like dwarves too. Like they cut away from it, but Elrond's like, we can't win this battle without you. And that Durin was just like, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
I swear you had a tickle in your voice. I didn't quite hear you. What was that? Yeah. Like, you just know that he was like, fuck, he had to. Like, just the biggest grin on the, like, fucking planet, dude.
I miss that Durin. He's troubled a bit now. But...
Yeah. Actually, he says that. He's like, I'm fucking dealing with possibly, like, taking the throne, like, usurping the throne from my father. He's like, what's going on with you?
Yeah, right, yeah. You can't be any worse than I am. He's like, oh, well, actually.
Guess what?
Yeah.
No, that was a good scene, though. It was nice to see them back together, like you said. There was another thing that I liked about that, too. It was when, I said it to Holly's. Oh, it's, so when Durin and Elrond, like, first meet again, Elrond's, like, standing by the tree. And he goes, my heart sings to see you again, old friend. And I just looked at Holly. I was like, I would love to have someone say that to me sometime in my life. My heart sings to see you, old friend. Like, oh shit, that's touching as fuck.
Yeah, right? Really?
Yeah, for real.
I don't want to be dapped up when I see the boys anymore after this. So, like that's the standards from here on out.
For real, I like that.
Yeah, more poetry, guys.
Yeah.
Step it up.
We see the fucking, like we kind of hinted at. The only thing I noted, we see the ground assaults kind of starting at a Region, so like the damn bridge thing kind of worked and shit. one of the episodes I already talked about with you, though, was just, especially like cinematography-wise, they would take shots very similar to ones that we've seen from Lord of the Rings. And this was one that stood out to me. This one was very, especially at one particular moment, it was very Helm's Deep-y to me.
Yes, I agree, and they were really well done too. Like it helped you get oriented on like where, what's being defended, where are the good guys, where are these guys attacking from, like, where's the river, where are the mountains. Just like I like that. It just makes you more immersed in it when you kind of know where everybody's at the whole time and where they're coming from.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would say like we see orcs like charge in a lot, like in Lord of the Rings, but they actually do like a deep, like, so say like at Pelennor Fields, they're in those like massive, like fucking 3 or 4 story tower, like siege tower that right, exactly. Helm's Deep, it's just like a straight on ground assault with like the ladders and shit. Like that was very much like what this was. So kind of obviously like similar to that. But there's like there's one scene, like not one scene, but one shot where it's got like 3 elvish archers and they're firing, and then it goes to like where they're shooting, and you just see like 5 or 6 orcs, each carrying a ladder on each side, and like one guy kind of like stands off to the side of it, an orc, and like fires the arrow back and like drills him. I was like, I swear they do like almost that exact same fucking, right. Like the exact same cut at one point in Helm's Deep.
That's a good pull.
But yeah, I'm not even kidding. I might actually fire up Fellowship like as soon as we get out of here. I'm off tomorrow. I do not feel great.
Oh man, that sounds
perfect sick day.
What a remedy.
Yeah. That sounds so nice. Celebrimbor is finally gonna I wouldn't even say realize, but he's finally gonna make acceptance with the fact that this guy that he's working with is fucking not who he's dealing with. You know what I mean? Not who he makes himself out to be.
Yeah. Not this god who like came down to Middle Earth.
The savior.
To save him, yeah.
For sure. He finally puts all of the nice little pieces together, all the little clues, realizes the mouse keeps coming back, and then the candle hasn't melted down at all. So he understands the veil that has been pulled over his eyes. Yep. But this was cool. It finally broke down fucking when Celebrimbor, like, there's a little, back and forth, and he fucking flings that goddamn hammer. And it crashes through a window, and as soon as that happens, it breaks the veil, however you want to phrase it. But all of a sudden, he sees the siege now for himself.
Chaos.
Chaos is right. Especially changing from, like, fucking day to light, and not even just, like, it's things are firing at you and shit. A lot to take in.
Right. A big thing there too was he realizes that the mithril that Aaron and then he gave him was actually just like the black goo, like black blood that Sauron's made out of.
Yes, that was a big thing.
So you got to kind of assume that's why he has more control over
those
rings and not over the elven rings.
That's a good damn call.
Because the elven rings are good. I don't think he had any blood in these dwarven rings that are causing so much trouble, but.
No, last week was he cut himself last week. We saw him do it when Adar started like charging in. I think it was right at the end of the episode. Yeah. He's like, you see him like with his blade out, and he like cuts his own hand. So he must have gone right from there to here. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Or at least I would imagine so, unless he's doing more black magic. But
yeah, and I gotta wonder too, like, because I think that's supposed to be just the one ring, but hopefully it's
supposed to be just the one ring.
That he like pours his power into it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yep, I got you.
But hopefully it's just the way that he has control over it, and he's not actually pouring any of his power into these rings, so they can keep that the way it has been at least. Because that's supposed to be a special thing about the One Ring is he pours like half of his power into the One Ring.
Yeah.
To amplify himself and stuff, but he also gives up a lot of it.
Isn't it
like a Horcrux?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of. Same kind of thing.
Like his malice, I think that's what Galadriel says. Like his malice, I think that's like a word that's standing out to me in that opening from Fellowship, like the very, very opening scene when they're going back in time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he poured his malice and his will to dominate, like all life or some shit like that. That could be crazy.
Yeah, no, that sounds right because there is the scene of him like holding the One Ring, and he's still holding a dagger in his other hand. Which from a deleted scene, he has a pile of gold in his hand, and he cuts like molten gold, and he cuts his hand on like through the gold and spills it into the thing.
Where did you see this deleted scene?
On a YouTube video.
No shit.
Yeah.
I know they had deleted scenes.
Yeah, no kidding. Have you watched the director's cut yet?
No. These episodes?
No, I'm sorry, the Lord of the Rings movie.
Oh no, nope.
There's an extra like 45 minutes of each movie.
Yeah.
I'll take an extra 45 of each.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, dude. But Celebrimbor, like I said, he not even puts it together, but he finally kind of makes acceptance that this is Sauron. He goes outside, he sees Eregion completely in ruins, and he's gonna try to basically talk to that bitch someone's always talking to, Mordania.
Yep.
And basically he's like, yo, like this guy Sauron, he's had the veil over me this whole time, and I'm out of it now. Like everything's good. And kind of calls out fucking Sauron for being Sauron. Of course, he does more tricks. He even calls him out for the hand thing, the black blood, the blood's red. And then fucking Mordania, even though like Celebrimbor's been kind of a dick, well, supposedly like he's been ignoring like this attack going on. Like he's just letting the city get overrun. And he like forgot her name, and he's been kind of a dick. She was still like ready to be nice to him, you know what I mean? She was still ready to like ready to go help him back to his room and shit. I was like, this is a nice girl. But Celebrimbor's like, yo, like tries to pull his hand away, and Sauron does a cute little fucking hand floaty trick, and next thing you know, Mordania goes flying over the walls. And this is another example of the thing I've been saying all season. So at this point, I feel like I'm pretty justified in it. But I felt like another example of like things violently like being turned up a little bit. Like you don't see the orc directly smash her in after she falls off the wall. She's not dead, and an orc comes over and like just pounds her in with an axe or a hammer or whatever the fuck. And granted, like I said, you don't like see her get caved in, but I was like, I don't know. It did a cool shot, like you're her basically like looking up at the orc. But I was like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't remember that shot from Lord of the Rings.
You're right. They stepped it up in violence level.
I think so.
And
there's been a lot of examples.
Yeah.
You
see the very first episode of the first season, the first orc crawling out of that hole and being like a little horror movie with like Theo hiding in the closet.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just like this super overpowered, like more creature than human kind of thing.
At first, I was thinking you said season 2, episode 1, but then I got you. I got there. 1-1.
We see her body too, right, when she falls.
Yeah,
so, which is already kind of.
She's got like some blood running down her, and you can like she looks like she just fell off a wall. She seems like she's like a cripple or some shit.
Yeah.
And the orc just comes down and fucking just buries her, like I said. But I think there was another one this episode too. I think I marked it. I feel like there was another one that was like
there's a really sweet scene with one in a little bit.
Violent?
Yeah.
That was awesome. That's got to be what it's marked. I just can't think of what the fuck it was. Let's see. Oh shit! All right, so we got the Elrons and the Elrons. Elrond and the elves have arrived.
The Elrondians.
In this scene, so normally you got this massive army, right? They're heading in, they're charging in Adar head on. One thing I noted, I think it had to just been because Elrond is like the main, not the main, but one of the main characters of this show. Why on earth is he leading in the charge for the elves? You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Gil-galad looks at him, he's like, yeah, do it, dude. And he's like, he's not a general. Like, right. He ain't a general. Why is he, like, leading in the charge?
It was weird.
Isn't it just like a charge and everybody goes and you sit back kind of deal? Like,
I would assume it would be Gil-galad to do it, but if it wasn't him, it'd be... What is it?
He's more of a William Wallace type.
Yeah, right. That's actually a good call. I like that.
Yeah.
So... What is it? Yeah, lead from the front. Yeah. That's a lot. That's basically what Gil-galad says later. This is a good episode, I thought. He only had a very limited amount, but I was like, oh shit, dude. Yeah. Fucking High King's doing some shit.
Yep. Love his spear.
Yeah, dude. He was like the Red Viper there. Fucking twirling that motherfucking thing around. But we see fucking Elrond and the elves have arrived, and they're gonna charge headfirst into Adar's army. Now, at the end of it, ends up being quote unquote like a wet fart because nothing actually happens of it. But they shot the
that was awesome.
Fuck out of this scene, man. I mean, I was fucking literally like it was the kind of thing where especially like I look for that shit. So I was like watching. I like sat up. I was like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden after a couple shots, they did that camera angle where it was clearly like a guy on the horse. But it was like low, so almost like say from like the side of the horse. Maybe they actually just attached like a GoPro to the horse, to be honest. They might have done that. I don't know. But you just see it from like almost the side of the horse, and you see all of the other horses and men like alongside of you as like they charge in. And I was just audibly out loud. I was like, well, that was fucking cool.
That was sweet.
Yeah, really well done.
Fucking shot the shit out of it.
Yeah.
A couple scenes here that would, just the way they shot it was awesome. I think the other one a little bit was my favorite, but...
Okay.
That was another good one, too.
Oh, I was going to say, because this is this right here was easily like this show looks great a lot of the time.
Yeah.
This was easily like my favorite visual from this show so far. I thought it was fucking incredible. Like to the point where like I said, it was kind of like a wet fart because Adar's waiting there at the line and he just like pulls over this little thing over a cage and it's Galadriel inside. So they like, break their charge at the last second. But I was like, normally like I would be like disappointed. I was like, that's so fucking gay. But I literally was like, that was like such a cool fucking scene that I'm not even like as mad as I normally would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right,
I was like, that's how
like, all right, I'll
fucking
forgive
good.
you.
Yeah. I was like, wow. I was like, that sucks. But I was like, that looked fucking cool. Like, even though we didn't just get a battle like we wanted to go get, it's pretty cool. It looked pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, very well done.
It was, man. That was fucking.
Is that the one from above too? Or is
Oh,
that
they
later?
get yeah. They get it from
later,
above,
yeah.
so you get that. So when they say that this show costs however many millions of dollars to make, like that's had to have been like $1 billion extras.
Yeah,
Like
right.
there's no way, like unless I'm completely wrong, but I don't think I am. That's not CGI. Like that's straight up like
a bunch of dudes.
a shit ton of horses.
Yeah.
And I think that's where those money like that pours in.
Yeah, I've heard that's a very expensive part of producing movies is horses that can be on camera and organized and stuff.
I can imagine.
They're just galloping around, like fucking up the shot and everything.
Yeah.
This ain't the olden days, dude. These
Yeah,
horses
yeah,
are being
right.
bred to ride in a fucking
To be
army.
actors.
Yeah, no, to be actors, but yeah. These ain't Dothraki horses, you know what I'm saying? So, like we said, Galadriel's under this, Adar's got her, so they stop the charge. It's like, all right, time to fucking converse. And this is like, we've already seen Adar be kind of cool and shit, but Adar very much goes by like the old, like say if this was Game of Thrones, he functions by like the old ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Banner of Truth, like come on in, you can bring your general with you, we're going to hash it out, we're going to talk like men, and if we disagree, then we're going to go back to our respective sides and we're going to meet each other like head on in the battlefield.
I'm not gonna cut your throat in the middle of sitting here, if we disagree.
Right.
It's just all right. Yep. Go back to your post. I'll go back to mine. We'll blow the horn. We'll get it on.
Adar's a cool character.
He is. Yeah.
He's a
very
cool
good.
character.
Yeah.
I don't the recast threw me off. I don't love the recast as much as the original, but this guy like feels less almost like old. Like I feel like the first one from last season was a little bit, he seemed like he had been alive for a long ass time and been tortured by a couple of fucking evil gods before, leading an orc army for however long.
Yeah.
This guy looks a little bit more like, I don't know, not like a modern villain. That's
Like
not what
fresh,
I'm trying to say.
a little bit more fresh.
Yeah. Fresh in
Not
his
war-torn.
villain.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like he's hungry, but he's still smart, knowledgeable. Like, I don't know, just a different vibe. I still like him though. I mean, not still like him, but I like him a lot. Good character.
Yeah, I think they pulled off the recast pretty well. He still has most of the same juice.
Yeah. That first, I don't know why but the first one from last season reminds me of Bootstrap Bill Turner, which is Skarsgård. But he's got like that voice to him, like, yo, you've been trapped in this boat for a long fucking time.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
mean,
I'm
he's
going
a
to try to
form-
avoid doing that.
He's a former elf, right? He's like some sort of twisted former elf.
Yeah.
So-
I think that's why. I mean, I don't know for sure, but he calls himself Uruk, which Urukai are half elf, half orc.
Yeah.
So I thought. So I think I said it. Oh, you know what? You weren't on last week. I was with you. But Adar is obviously like pushing for this, or he was pushing for that elf orc like teamwork last week. And I was like, this could be how the Urukai are made. Like if they're on the battlefield together and there's like a whole bunch of dead bodies and they're just like, all right, let's just fucking cover them under all the same dirt and they're going to be all buried together or some kind of shit like that, and the blood and the dirt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I thought there was
tornado,
something
stuff.
there, but obviously it didn't end up happening.
Right. Yeah, I guess they have whole families and stuff.
Yeah.
Orc sex.
People were pissed about that. I was like, what a weird thing to be mad
That's what I'm
about.
saying. Like what? Like yeah. What are you mad about?
Because they're just not like
Why are you so angry all
super
the time?
mindless creatures. It's like they have a brain and like, oh no. Orcs fuck each other,
Yeah.
and they have baby orcs.
Yeah, and this is also like thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So they have time to devolve too. They can still have become that by the time those movies come out.
They're not Neanderthals.
Right? Like
Orcs have feelings too.
once they're tortured, once they're like
Orcs' lives matter.
Yeah.
owned and tortured by Sauron for a few thousand years, they might not be so family oriented anymore.
That's actually that's a good way. No, that's a good call.
Yeah.
That's a good call. That holds up to me. So Adar, Elrond, we're gonna have a quick little chat, which is kind of where I started this whole thing.
Yeah.
But Adar wants the ring because last week Galadriel gave up the info, the goods. So he knows that they got one. Especially he knows that Elrond's got it. So he wants the ring in exchange for Galadriel's life. And Elrond does a nifty little trick. Fuck, I can't think. Oh, it's Ramsay Bolton. It's the Jon. Yeah, there you go. It's the Jon Snow trick that he pulls on Ramsay Bolton. He says, "Let's just do this one-on-one." And Ramsay's like, "If we did this one-on-one, you'd probably win, but I know my army can beat your army." Kind of that thing. Elrond's like, "Yo, like you're so quick to lay down all of your orcs' lives, all of your soldiers' lives, but like, are they so quick to give up their lives as like as fast as you are?" And you see the one orc who we've seen his family. He's like looking over. He lets his knife down a little bit. Like, "Are you ready to play with our lives, Adar?"
Yep. Yeah, that was a good little manipulation. He's maybe picking up on some Sauron tactics.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Yeah.
And actually, we saw the other thing last week, which it started the episode. Arondir kills like 3 orcs, and those 3 orcs were fleeing from Adar's army.
Yeah, as you say, you see a little like dissension going on already.
Yeah.
Like some orcs like second guessing, and
Right.
I wouldn't say they're all in. Not all of them are, at least.
And if Sauron just sweeps on in like the savior and is gonna show them a couple of years of peace and shit, fall right under
manipulate them
under
next.
the wing.
Yep.
So Elrond's like, "All right, I ain't gonna play your game," like kind of what I said right at the beginning. But he's like, "All right, we're gonna meet on the battlefield," and he's like, "If we're gonna fight this out, I want to say goodbye to Galadriel." And right away, as soon as Adar says yeah to him, he like right away, like just clear as day in front of like the camera, just like pops his pin off his thing. And I'm just like, nope, no one's gonna notice that. No one notices what just happened. But he goes on over to Galadriel and he's like, "Yo, like sorry about this shit." And she's like, "Yo, just kick their asses." And then they have a kiss, which I think was that one of the things people were mad about online.
Yeah,
it was,
and that was forced a little bit too. That was the one that kind of
So
that seemed a little forced to me.
it might
See why? All right, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. You go.
So what, do you want to know why the people are mad, or do you want to take on?
Start with why people are mad. Let's go there. Actually,
So
let's go with why
people
people
are
are
mad
mad.
for a good reason, which is that Elrond eventually marries Galadriel's daughter. So
Okay.
that's his future mother-in-law,
Okay.
and never has any. So yeah, Nick's like, I like House of the Dragon.
Go on. No, I mean, I'm not even saying that, but Galadriel doesn't have a kid right now, and elves live for forever. So if Galadriel has a kid in fucking 300 years from now, and then 200 years after that, Elrond and her are like, "Yo, we like each other," they're not supposed to hook up because 600 years ago, him and your mom shared a kiss.
It's just an awkward conversation to have at one point.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like, yeah. Honestly, though, it's like that's one of those things where it's like, hey, yo, like this one time, right? We were drunk and fucking,
right.
we
The
shared a
Elvish
kiss.
wine started kicking in.
Like, yo, we were in this orc camp one time. We thought we might die, so I was like, you know what? I kind of like you. Let's share a moment of passion.
It was also too maybe just his way of getting close to Galadriel. So
Right.
That's my whole point. I was like, that's
excuses
why it's
everything,
not
yeah.
weird at all. I
Yeah.
was like, he's fucking not doing this because he's got things for Galadriel. He's like trying to get past the orcs and hand her this thing. Yeah. And what better? Was he gonna dap her up? Like, yo, all right, yo, like a drug deal. You know what I mean? Like, yo, give me the goods. Here's the bills, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, no, like, what do you, come on. It makes perfect sense. They have a quick moment. It's not a real moment. Even Galadriel, like, after it happened, she kind of looks at him.
Oh, yeah, she was rattled.
So what the fuck? And then she's probably gonna, she's like, oh, I got you, dog. I got you. I feel you. I feel you.
He just wanted to get some along the way.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? Like,
See, like, to me, if that's a thing that, like, people are mad about, I'm just like, you're being too specific. Like, you're not just, like, using your like, I feel like, to me, like I just said, like, that's so simple. Like I just said, literally, what are they supposed to do else? Like, a drug deal? Like, he's gonna go, like, that's the alternative.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not even being sarcastic. That's legitimately the alternative.
True.
What's he gonna do? Sneeze and drop it at her feet? Or like, there's
magic
only
trick.
so
Yeah.
many legitimate things that you can do.
Give her a hug and stab it into her back.
Right? She's in a cage. Wait, is she in a cage?
No, she's like tied up to a post or whatever.
Either way, I guess they could share a really good hug, and he could slip it. Fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's just like common sense. It's not like it's a passionate fucking kiss.
Yeah, I agree. I'm okay with it.
Is that a pin in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah. Is that a brooch in your pants?
Upon leaving the camp and heading back, though, a big thing is he's gonna talk to his general, basically, one of his high-ranking elf officers, and he's like, "Yo, like the dwarf army, they'll be here tomorrow morning. So all we gotta do is survive the night."
Yep.
Again, very Helm's Deep-y, actually.
Yep. One thing I'll say right before that too, I'm pretty sure that the head orc guy who was guarding Galadriel, his name's like Glug or something.
Yes, it is. Even if it's not, yes, it is.
He definitely notices Elrond take his brooch off. Like you said, it was really obvious to the camera.
Oh, does he really?
And he definitely notices it, but he immediately says like, "It's okay, he's not armed." So I think that's like the first seed of him like really doubting that Adar has their best interests at heart.
I think it might be the second, because when Nadar first said that they were gonna march on them, actually that was when we saw his family.
No,
and
you're
shit.
right. I got the order mixed up. But yeah, so just another check mark on that.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say this is the only other one so far.
Yeah, but to the point where he will also let Galadriel escape. So that's that's a next level up from just complaining to the boss that he's like not looking out for your best interest. Now he's literally just helping Galadriel escape.
Yeah, that's a good
If I'm
point.
correct about how I saw
didn't
it, but
notice that.
I think he saw it and let him do it.
Okay, I'll at some point I'm gonna go and watch this again. So
Yeah, right. So
Look out for Glug.
I'll keep Glug. Ooh, I liked this. Prince Durin, Khazad-dûm, he's gonna give a nice speech to rally the troops. This was good. I love a nice rally speech, and I thought this was a good one. This one got me going.
Oh,
Yeah, killed it.
The Khazad-dûm. Yeah, that was great.
So, like, was every single person in Khazad-dûm there, like, all for it, and there was just the one king who was by himself? Who was just like, nah.
Seems like it.
That's what I'm saying, because that place was jammed out. I do love they keep showing them, like, just in the side shots and the back shots, but the dwarf, like, Kingsguard, basically. The two, like, soldiers that stand at his door who, like, don't move, like those British troops and shit. They're just, like, in all black. You can't even see their faces. They don't move. That's so cool.
Look at the Imperial Guards, like guard the Emperor. Like the big
Yeah.
red dudes.
I want to see them in action very, very bad. We go to the elf and orc armies. They're finally, like, straight up battling now. They're on the field. Like I said, after Elrond left, the treaty is over. So now, fights on. And we see Elrond. He can hold his own.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a king of the sword, but he's good. He can hold his own for a while.
Yeah, he's solid.
4-on-1 at one point, right?
3, 4, some
4-on-1.
shit like that. Some shit like that. But he can hold his own. Loses his horse, which I know, like, that's a big thing for elves, right?
Like, he's devastated.
Yeah, I think aren't, like, horses and elves, like, very, like, tied, like a tight bond.
Yeah, like all of nature, they have a very tight bond. Like they can listen to the trees. They can listen to the horses.
That's
that kind
true.
of stuff. Yeah.
All right. I was gonna say, I feel like I remember, definitely not like in the movies, but like, I feel like I remember maybe a YouTube video or even Reddit or something like that. I feel like I remember reading like so keep making ties, but like when Eowyn's riding fucking Frodo back to Rivendell after he's been stabbed, and she's like talking like right into the horse's ear and shit, like giving it. I mean, I guess a lot of people give their horses commands. They've been trained their whole life, but
like
seems like
like
there's an extra
directly
bond.
talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not slapping it on the ass like a jockey.
Right. It seems like there's a
Explain
real.
yourself. This is why I need you to run really fast.
It seems like there's like a real bond there.
Yep. And there's a part in I think it's in the Two Towers book where like Legolas gets a horse lent to him by the Rohan people, and he immediately asks for them to take off the saddle, and he only rides bareback, and like it was apparently like this really angry horse who nobody can ride except for the guy who who died, who. Now that's why the horse is available, and he immediately just hops on bareback, and the horse listens to him immediately, and so.
As much as I hate him, they said that what's his name, Isildur's horse, like refuses to listen to anybody besides him too.
Yeah, right.
True. Right.
It's clearly a thing. Horses. I mean, look at Shadowfax too. Horses seem to have a bit of a, I don't know, deeper
Connection.
knowledge, deeper connection, more. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about horses in real life, but these horses seem to be pretty fucking smart.
Yes, especially Shadowfax. Shadowfax is like horse god. Like
Yeah.
re-embodied from like another generation and shit.
I believe it.
Yeah, there's some crazy lore on Shadowfax.
That scene's sick when Gandalf just like.
Yeah,
I wish I could whistle. Can't do it. Never been able to.
The fucking owl.
Oh, let's see. Orcs is starting to climb the walls. They got those ladders up, and we got this cool device, a Ravager, which I thought at first was just like one of those, like like the things that they use in Game of Thrones to shoot down the dragons.
yeah.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, Scorpion. That's what I thought it. Which it kind of, in a way, almost is, but it's built to penetrate walls rather than shoot bolts, however far at dragons.
Right, but kind of a cool technology that they did here, where it's like
For
yanking
sure.
on it instead.
Yeah.
Never really seen anything like that. I don't know if it exists in real like siege history, but
And you have to imagine just the initial bolt impact's gonna do some damage. It's like gonna like loosen up, like it's gonna loosen up
Yeah.
and then pull. It's like you know what I mean. It makes like you said, these fucking orcs, man. They make them sound dumb, but they got something going on up there.
yeah, got some good engineers.
Yeah,
They
good
got some
engineers. Glug the engineer.
Oh, it's so
Orc
funny.
college.
I literally have all right. So I have Orc General right here, Glug.
I thought so.
We're changing it now, baby. The Orc General is just gonna be Glug. He's in Askadar. He's basically like this elf. The elves are making good fucking. They're making good work. They're blowing through us. Like, should we just call the armies back and retreat? And Adar's like, fuck that, no way. He's like, at any costs. At any cost, I feel like a big words when he says that. Get that wall down. And I feel like that's been a big thing is like, at what cost are we doing any of this? At what cost are we going to try to find Sauron being the biggest question? But this is another example. It's like, how many of us are you willing to sacrifice to do what you want, which is the exact same reason why they didn't want Sauron in command in the first place, like in those flashback scenes. Right. It was like, we're just kind of doing your bidding, where Adar is like, our father, he's taking care of us, he loves us.
Right.
Which actually, that's what happens right here. Fucking the orc is like, yo, like, I thought you said that you loved us. And he's like, I love you so much, I don't want you to guys become slaves to Sauron. And then we see Galadriel escapes with a pin.
Yeah. Something cool about that too is it seems like Sauron has his grips on Adar a little bit too. This is something I got from like a video to prep for this, but
Go.
I guess it was Halbrand that told Adar in season 1 that that if Sauron is able to make these rings, all the orcs will be enslaved. So that's what Adar's operating on, is that these rings will enslave his
Eventually
children,
enslave them, yeah.
which may or may not be true at this point.
Right.
But he has planted that in Adar's head, which is now the main reason why he's willing to sacrifice all of them
Yep.
to wipe out the elves, which is like working out perfectly for Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
So just like another really cool, twisty manipulation by the big man in black.
There's one that's not even intentional with him actually like mind playing, but the one that we saw with Galadriel basically saying like, you go into Eregion is exactly what Sauron wants. Like, he has no army and now you're bringing him an army, and he just is like, no, like, get her away from here, like, that's not what's happening, kind of thing. Right. So even when it's not like Sauron directly actually like using mind games, you know what I'm saying? Right. He's still in his head, like, he's got permanent fucking free territory. You know?
He knows just all his eggs are in this basket. He's going out one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know, so like we were just talking to Elrond, like, if you want to join me, cool. If not, we'll fight you too. Like, he's playing this game like this is all he's interested in, one way or the other, whether he goes down swinging or not.
Yeah, in too deep.
Yeah.
We all kind of said it, but he's easily one of my like actual favorite characters in like the entire show.
Yeah.
He's
like power up here in this episode.
Yeah, to end it.
We'll see what he does.
That's a good point. It just stinks because obviously you know that his time is very limited. I would imagine very limited. I feel like kind of exactly like Galadriel said, like you brought him his army is what I feel like is going to happen, but who knows? But I've liked him while he's been here. He's he's a very different kind of bad guy than we've had in Lord of the Rings. Like, you know, like in the trilogy and stuff. Like he's different. Like I said, he's very, very different. He's not like Lurtz is a really cool fucking Uruk-hai, but he's obviously got like a better brain than the other orcs, but he's not like Adar.
Right.
And you have like, you know, the Saurons, the Sarumans, fucking a couple of other little villains, like the new evil wizard. Adar's unique, I feel like. Kind of like I said too, like he goes by the old ways. He kind of respects the old laws.
Yep.
The lure.
And another William Wallace guy. He's out there fighting with his boys. Maybe not on the first wave, but
right.
He goes out and gets right into the mix.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, at some point you got to be a general first. You're leading the troops, and then all of a sudden, at some point, it's like, all right, things are in the mess of it. I got to get out there.
Yep.
Galadriel, like I said, we're going to use that pin that we got there in our kiss, which was awesome. Now I'm going to be the opposite side. That fucking awesome hot kiss that I fucking loved.
Yeah. That weird, twisted incest.
Yeah.
But not incest yet. She's
Yeah, exactly. Not for a couple 100 years.
Get over it, people.
For real. She's trying to just like do the old fashioned, like, I'm going to pretend to be an orc, trying to escape. She gets cornered, and then who but all people but Arondir comes and saves the day. And he's ready to throw it all away. He just wants Adar and nothing else. He doesn't care. And Galadriel kind of talks him off the edge. Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
I thought it was kind of a cool recharacterization for Galadriel, where she's tapping into more of what we know her as from Lord of the Rings movies, where she gives us like really heartfelt advice to Arondir. She's like, "Wait, we have so few heroes; it would be a shame to lose one."
Another,
today.
yeah.
That goes into like that poetry advice of like deep wisdom, which is what we know her as before the
Elves
show.
in their poetry, man. Elves in their poetry.
Yep.
Like if they were talking to you like that, I'd be like, "Damn, she's right."
Yeah.
That's basically what he does. Yeah. What else can you
Melts
do?
in my heart.
Yeah, no shit. My heart sings to
Yeah,
hear
that's
you
all,
say
that's all she would have had to say is that right there. Damn, no.
Durin and the dwarves are about to head out, about to go head on to Eregion and save the day, basically. And the head miner that we've seen quite a few times at this point, I don't know his name.
Narvi.
Nervy.
I literally looked at you and I was like, I bet Luke knows his fucking name.
Narvi.
Narvi stops Durin. He's like, yo, like, your dad just turned his axe against my boys. He's fucking literally hamming at the rock himself. And
He's just doing something now,
shredded
not
through
just
some
sitting on a
people.
pile of gold.
for real.
Oh man.
He says he's gonna unleash, like, what is it, like the beast or the monster, the creature or some shit like that. And I feel like that was the actual first mention of the Balrog for this entire season.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like we've mentioned it a bunch of times. That was how they ended season 1.
Right. Yeah, we saw that little flame like thing of a Balrog when Anatar was visiting, asking for more mithril. But
Oh, that's right.
pretty much, yeah, nobody has said the word, or they still didn't say the word, but
They still have it. Yeah,
they
yeah.
referred to it.
That's so awesome that this whole story, that's still on the back burner waiting to come out. Like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Right. A better trigger here at the last episode, but we'll see.
So if they do that again this season, if they like end season 2 and it's something else tied like to the Balrog, that's the big bad. You know what I mean? That's like
Right.
that's where we're gonna end the show. Which I think I saw that I think they wanted 5 seasons.
I heard
think,
that too.
Yeah, 5. I think that's what I saw. It was 5. So
Right. And it's
Amazon seems to be backing it hard.
yeah, and I don't really know the story that much, but it ends with Sauron ruling for like 1,000 something
Right.
years.
Yeah,
right.
He's gonna kind of win and have his dominion for a long time.
That would obviously be the big yeah.
And
You
then
got-
he-
That's bad wording on my part.
But then I guess he kind of goes into hiding for a while. That's why we see all the good times in the Shire while he's mustering all his strength.
True.
And ready to make the big push.
And you got an Isildur connection coming somewhere down the line, too.
Right.
So they still got a lot to handle.
Right. And,
I'm just ready for the Balrog. I'm about ready for it.
I was just saying, I'm not gonna lie. I've loved seeing Khazad-dûm like in its heyday, like cream, like flowing with power. Everything's lit up. Crops are growing. Waterfalls are flowing. People are happy. I wouldn't mind seeing the Balrog just fucking pop up and just fucking light everything up. But I could be totally wrong. But this is just my assumption. I think, kind of like what I said, I think Adar's time is limited. I think Sauron is going to get his army. And I think on his way to Mordor, he's going to make one quick pit stop to load up on Mithril. That's just my personal idea. Because we know that orcs are overrunning it by the time the fellowship happens. And we know that the Balrog is alive and kicking. So now we know the Balrog is obviously underneath the Mithril mines. He's coming now. Where are the orcs? How are they going to get there?
Right.
True.
Does he have any other known purposes for more Mithril?
Known? No. I would be out of the gate. I wouldn't be surprised if like his entire armor that he eventually has be made out of Mithril and just painted in this black goo.
Right. That'd be cool.
It'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's obviously also the most valuable thing ever. So if you're trying to finance a war, but might as well go mine the most valuable thing ever.
I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe the fucking tower that holds the eye is just solid Mithril.
Right. That'd be cool.
Maybe like that's how he stays alive. Like obviously we already seen him survive as like a pile of goo down like the bottom of the earth and like eating on the littlest creatures and then eventually crawling his way out. Maybe he fucking uses Mithril to like become the eye and stay alive again.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
New headcanon.
Yeah, right? What the fuck? I'll start writing up my final season. I should, dude, I was thinking that the other day. I don't even remember why. I think Holly might have mentioned it. She was like, you said I could read your fan fiction, but not until after I finished the last season. I was like, oh shit, I do have that. I need to like do an episode where I'm just in here by myself and I just read my fan fiction for fucking the last season of Game of Thrones. I just go, all right, episode 1. What is it?
I don't think I've seen it before. Or
oh, no? I swore I actually showed it to you. I still have it in my room. It's like 4 or 5 pages. I just go episode by episode.
Oh, wow.
But, like, oh, yeah, shit. Like we were saying, the king's hammering just by him, fuck himself. And, what was it? Narvi?
Yeah, Narvi.
Narvi's like, bro, like, if you guys leave, you're taking everybody with you, so there's no one to fucking stop him. He's going to do whatever he wants, and you might not have a Khazad-dûm to come back to.
Yeah. Tough call. I don't know if they need to bring every soldier that they have to go stop the old guy with a ring, but it seems like that's what they do.
Yeah.
After
probably could have brought like 100 of them.
Yeah. Is he gonna knock through all of them? That's a good call, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
He just, during his like pump up speech, that was like the biggest thing to him. He was just like, what do we desire, not desire, but what are we known for above everything else? His loyalty. Yep. And it's like, you gave your fucking word. But I guess like, you know, your loyalty to your home probably precedes that.
Right.
Yeah, should be the forefront.
Would understand, I bet, but that's a tough hit.
Yeah, exactly. You say you would understand? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Oh man, when they show him in a little while, I think that's pretty much how they end the episode. But when he's like, he just keeps saying it over and over. He's like, Durin's gonna show up. I was like, oh man, my heart's breaking, bro. God damn.
But he said,
yeah, that's like a true, like that's a moment where it's like my like friend, my brother, fucking let me down, man.
I made his heart sing.
Now
my heart sang.
Oh shit. We go back to Sauron and Celebrimbor, and I don't know how genuine it is, but at first he's kind of like, yo, like I didn't enjoy doing this shit to you, like basically, you know, pulling the veil in front of your eyes, and it reminds him of how Morgoth treated him. Again, I don't know how genuine it was. It seemed somewhat genuine, but he's the deceiver for a reason.
Right.
They buying that nonsense.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he was the right-hand man to Morgoth. Like they.
Was he?
They had the same path for a long time. I guess he kind of got used. That's why he rebelled. But yeah, Morgoth was going for world domination by like force, and it seems like Sauron wants like order by force.
Yeah, I want to perfect it, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, by force.
Yeah, exactly. Utopia doesn't exist.
Yeah. Purify this shithole.
Sauron tries to do what he always does, plant eggs and, let them build themselves, and he kind of tries to blame Celebrimbor for his own suffering, but Celebrimbor he knows what's up now. Like, he knows what's going on. He's not fooled anymore. This is a good line, though. He's like, you call yourself the Great Deceiver, or they call you the Great Deceiver. He's like, you even deceive yourself.
Yeah.
It was a good line. That was a good line.
Yep, I wrote that one down, too. And
Did you?
And it seems kind of, I don't know, it seems like he was kind of.
He had that look on his face. He kind of had a little bit of like that, oh shit. Like,
Yeah, like, yeah.
all right, motherfucker.
I kind of just
Good
convinced
point.
myself of my own fake bullshit. Yeah, it was really good. And it was funny just Anatar kind of victim blaming.
Yeah.
He's like, you made me do this.
Gaslighting fucking Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
We see that he's like gonna bounce out. He's gonna take the 9 rings. Small pet peeve on my behalf. Those rings looked super ghetto. Remember like the old 25-cent like gumball machine kind of things that you'd see at the end of fucking all the stores when you were kids? And like they'd have like the jewelry rings. That's exactly what those things looked like to me.
He took a bunch of ring pops.
Yeah. For real, bro. They looked at the things you get at Spirit for Halloween time.
Yes, they were lacking a little luster, but
Which they
That's
haven't
what you've been
done-
working on this whole damn time.
Yeah, for real.
well, he was trying to destroy them just now, I think. So they might have gotten worse all of a sudden.
Okay.
But they are cool to touch when he takes them out. So I don't know if it's just the the gold plus Sauron goo that survived out of the fire, but that would still probably have the core function still remaining.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, the fire couldn't heat them up, but it probably burnt off all the pretty stuff.
That's like a storyline that I really hope that we like tackle, and it seems like we're going to, but I really want to tackle that in this show at some point. Like, I want to see the 9 men like become the 9 wraiths. Like, I want to see those 9, because that's what Sauron said was like, we're gonna handpick the 9 guys. Basically, we're gonna find like the fucking cream of the crop for men, and we're gonna give them the rings. I'd like to like, is that gonna be true? Like, is he just gonna pick fucking 12 schmucks?
The tryouts, like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Open tryouts.
Are there gonna be tryouts?
I think that could be like a main storyline next season.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Him looking for people to manipulate.
That's something I would like to do, like a deeper dive on. That's something I'm definitely interested in.
Yep. And they'll become the ring wraiths too.
Right. And there's obviously going to be one that he holds like most dear, which to me, I feel like I think it might be Theo.
Right. The Witch King of Agamar.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Yes. The one that like is the head of them, basically.
Right.
He's the one that stabs Frodo.
Right. I think Theo's a good yes.
There's only so many purposes that Theo can fulfill.
Right.
And we've continued to keep up with him for a reason. So, like, he has to fill in somewhere.
What's the payoff?
Yeah. And obviously, he was the one that found the sword handle and shit like that. I don't know. That's just the first thought.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think we should be on the lookout for maybe a Numenorian being corrupted.
Ooh, we did see Farazan.
Yeah,
starting again.
Farazan,
That's
yeah.
a good call. I forgot about that.
I don't really know if they're considered men still. They're like supermen, but they are probably like the biggest realm of men.
Right.
We'll see.
That's a good call. So he said he's going to steal the 9 rings. Oh, this is probably what you're talking about, right? More intense violence?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So we see that he's fucking stealing the rings, but he's got the shackles on.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
That was pretty
you-
brutal.
I was thinking of earlier.
That was pretty
I
brutal.
think it was already before with the fucking catapult. The guy gets launched from the catapult against the fucking brick wall.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
just
Yeah.
flying down the brick wall. Yeah. That was great.
Elrond kills him right onto it, or
Yeah.
stabs him just a little bit, and lays him down and launches him.
Sends him flying against the wall. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes, this too.
He's in the shackles, and when they got to the little machine thing, I said out loud, I was like, "Oh wow!" I was like, he's gonna break his thumb. I was like, "This is dark for Lord of the Rings," and then he cuts it clean off, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god!"
Yeah.
He just cut his thumb off.
Crikey.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "This is not your mom and dad's Lord of the Rings, ladies and gentlemen. Things are getting intense." that made me sit up. That was big for me,
Yeah.
as far as kind of like I said, as far as this show kind of picking
Pushing
up
the
the violence.
envelope for sure.
Yeah. But he's out of his shackles. He goes onto onto the walls of the city or whatever, and he lasts for about 10 seconds before he gets smacked with a fucking catapult shot. And a bunch of the Elvis soldiers, they're like, yo, bro, we're going to bring you back to your room. But not before Galadriel fucking shows up. Galadriel shows up, and she's like, nah. Tells the soldiers that he was right. Sauron is, in fact, there. And, like, Celebrimbor is actually, what is it, the Lord of Eregion and shit.
Yep.
They have a cool little heart-to-heart. And then the big thing is how it ends. Celebrimbor gives her the 9 rings that he stole and was like, yo, get out of here, and I'll basically distract Sauron for as long as possible. And with Galadriel's, not advice, but what she says, the soldiers have turned back, and now they're like, yo, we're with Celebrimbor. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was really cool seeing her come to his aid.
Right
back him
after
up.
being aided too.
Right.
Line.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And another cool, like, classic Galadriel line too. She mentions like, he's like, I was weak. Like, she says, strength doesn't overcome darkness, light does.
Light does.
And in its presence, darkness must flee.
It's fucking hell.
So, like, really cool poetry, dude.
Beautiful.
Like,
Fucking hell.
fucking hits you.
Shakespearean.
They really are.
Yep.
I told you I just got the books.
Yeah.
I am so like one of the things that's like at the top of my mind is seeing somebody actually like talk to Legolas. When
Yeah.
you said that, I was like, that is the coolest thing I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
I was like, I need
At
to
least
like
the whole first
see
book.
that.
It might be just the first book, but
All right.
but yeah, he's a very small character. He does have some stuff with Gimli in the second one. Like they do the like I'm a 33.
Okay. So that all right, I got you.
Yeah.
He was one of the first people, him and Gandalf, that I saw were wanted back for that the Gollum movie. That's the next Lord of the Rings project.
Cool.
And then I actually saw quickly after that Viggo Mortensen said he wants to be a part of it, and I was like, well, it can't
enough for me.
be after fucking Gollum's dead.
Right.
So like, how is Aragorn just gonna have a cameo? Like he's fucking doing the Strider thing, like he's in the back of a bar just like drinking.
Is it the prancing pony again? Just drinking it up.
What was it about? Like while they were looking for Gollum in like the middle years or something? Because that's in the book, it's like Bilbo's 111th birthday,
Yep.
and then Frodo gets the ring from Bilbo. Bilbo leaves, and then 30 years pass,
Okay.
or something like that. Like at least 20. Like it's a long time.
I did not know that.
And then Gandalf comes back, and he's like things are on now. Like you need to leave, leave before the winter. I'll give you a sign. Go to the prancing pony. Like all this shit.
So it's not like overnight the way they make it seem like in the movie.
Right. It's a long gap in between which is why like when Bilbo and Frodo are reunited at Rivendell, it's like a big deal. Like they haven't seen each other in years and years.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Even like, I guess we don't know, but I feel like there's a couple of times where that happens, where characters reunite, and it very much feels like it's not that long. Because when I feel like, at least for me, this movie, when you watch the movies, it doesn't feel like there's like a ton of time advance. You know what I mean?
No.
It
Yeah,
doesn't seem like
definitely
it's over the course of whatever. Because Aragorn's a man, so it's like also like he's kind of actually like almost like a part of time, not part of time, a representation of time.
Right.
He's not going to live for forever, which is a part of him and Eowyn's story, a big one.
Right.
So that alone makes it feel like everything happens pretty quickly.
Right.
If it was taking fucking hundreds of years, he'd be dead.
Right.
It's true.
He is a Numenorian, so they live to be like I think he lived to be
Aragorn
250 or
is?
something. Yeah.
No shit.
Yep. That's why he's King of Gondor has his claim to the throne is that he's like the last blood of Elendil.
So
The
Numenor's...
guy Elendil in this show
Yeah.
is Aragorn's ancestor. That gives him the claim to Gondor.
There is a resemblance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
No, they
And,
say it.
like in the movie and in the books, like he'll go when he goes and draws his sword, he goes Elendil, like and he screams the name of his forefathers as he charges into battle. It's like pretty badass. But
That's it. I'm rewatching them.
Yeah, no shit.
That's it.
that's his claim too. being the Return of the King.
I like that. Now that intrigues me a little bit. I didn't know he was Numenorian.
Yep.
Okay.
I think he lives to be like 250 or something.
Who?
Aragorn.
Aragon does?
Yeah, because he's Numenorian.
What the fuck? You say 250?
I'm pretty sure.
Is that
Bro,
250?
That's crazy, dude. Elrond's literally like, yo, bagging on his daughter, like, yo, he's a mortal man, bro. You're gonna live your whole life alone, as if this guy is gonna be dead. And
Yeah,
like,
250 ain't that bad.
no shit. Like, he's gonna get pancreatic cancer. He's gonna be dead at 56. What the fuck? Jesus. Oh, that makes me intrigued though. That now.
He dies at the age of 210. Reigned for king for 122 years. So he was like 88 and.
Oh man, I love these fucking movies. I love these fucking fantasy worlds. It's great.
That's funny.
Oh fuck. All right, so let's see. Like we said, Galadriel's on her way. They're out of here, or not they. She's out of here with the rings, the cheap fucking gumball rings.
Restore rings.
We go back to the battle that we keep going back to. Orcs, elves battling. Elrond's gonna lead a nice little, because they're starting. The numbers are dwindling. Like you can, if you look around, they're clearly heavily outnumbered at this point. Which at least by context, it seemed like they were outnumbered from the jump. But now it seems like very evident.
There's like 30 guys left.
Yeah, right.
It's like the entire squad is there.
This part was actually one that I didn't love. This female elf, like, it's clearly, like, even though all elves are good archers, this one seems like to be, like, the cream of the crop for elves.
Right, that was weird.
Yeah. Elrond's like, all right, we get you close enough, you'll, like, take this thing down or whatever. And right as they get there, she gets hit. Not by, like, Boromir gets hit once, and he, like, is able, like, he goes down, and he keeps on fighting. Then he gets shot a second time, and he's, like, gasping for air, and then he keeps on fighting. I guess he's a mortal man. This bitch took 5 arrows, like, instantaneously from all different directions, and she was still able to launch an absolute perfect shot at this Ravager and explode.
Yeah. Let's do a bomb. Let's do a Hail Mary before she died, dude.
Like, she's that much better, where even when she's taking 5 arrows, she's still better than, like, everybody else. Like, all of these other elves, like...
Yeah, it was a very, like, contrived scene. It was strange. And, like, they're all hanging around, like, fighting and stuff. And then only, like, nobody's shooting any arrows near them. And then suddenly 10 arrows hit her. Like, they're all fine. Nobody's aiming at
That's a
anything.
good call. Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
10 people fucking shoot at her at once. Nobody else keeps shooting at her. Then she fires off the hero.
Oh,
shot.
damn.
As if she's one of the trolls, and they're like, get her now, unleash, fire on her.
And then all she does is she blows up, like, one of their siege engines.
Yeah,
Which
that Ravager
doesn't-
thing.
Like, really is, I don't know, it's minor.
And then takes one more arrow, and that sixth arrow, that was it.
Yeah.
She finally goes down. She
So we
couldn't
know
take it.
5 is the max.
Yeah.
Does it take?
Yeah.
for them
Got
to
it.
stay
Well, we lost that lady that existed for 10 seconds.
No shit.
Dang.
All right, moving on.
No shit.
All right.
Adar watches his army just like completely get dwindled down, and he's like, "Yo, call in the goddamn troll," but not like just any troll. That one that we already met earlier, who's clearly like King Troll,
Fucking damn rod.
badass mother,fucker. Damn Rod, that's
Yeah.
right. I remember writing that down when that episode happened.
Yeah.
He's another one. He was cool.
He
He was wearing like that skeleton head like shirt, not shirt, but like almost like a skirt.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious too that they're like, you can't just like talk to him and ask him to not kill the orcs. Like, you guys are allies, right? Like, that should be like
He's
pretty
just mopping up
standard
anything that's in front of
ally
him.
terms. Like, can you not hit the guys dressed up in black that are like orcs? Just kill the pointy ear people.
Honestly, I'm not going to defend them, but when you guys are fighting like hand to hand, you know what I mean? Like right hand, it's probably a little hard when you're that big to be like only hitting this guy. You know what I mean?
Just get the fuck out of the way.
I'm going to defend him. Damn Rod?
Damn rod.
Damn Rod, my guy.
Nimrod.
Nimrod. I got you, bro.
IQ 7.
Yeah.
Arondir is the first one. We got to get him back into the fold because they just keep popping him in. They're like, hey, he arrived. Hey, saved Galadriel. Hey, he's aware there's a troll coming. Is it the same? Yeah, it's that. Was it Glug?
Glug.
Yeah.
Glug's like, yo, like that troll's going. Damn Rod. Like, Glug's like, yo, damn Rod gonna take out everybody. And again, Adar's like, nah, like. It doesn't matter. Again, putting his own orcs' lives at stake. I love this shit.
What a great sentence you just said. Plug's like, yo, damn Rod, fuck that guy. And Adar's like, shit.
If you take that one sentence, I know everything about Lord of the Rings. I might as well be Tolkien.
That was good.
Oh shit. But that was cool. It was cool to see him fucking take the battlefield and shit like that. We had the Celebrimbor. Like I said, he's gonna stall a little bit so Galadriel can get away. Told Sauron that the fucking rings are gone, and this was cool. He's like, yeah, seize this motherfucker, and he didn't just like all of a sudden become powerful and like blow all of these guys away with a fucking hammer or even his own hands, and just like throw them around. He was like, nah, like I'm gonna do the coolest thing possible. I'm gonna make these guys just freeze, turn to one another, and just stab each other. Like complete and utter mind control. Yeah, it was so cool. Yeah, right. Like I liked this so much better than like what I just said. Like and him doing some fucking Superman thrust power. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh shit, man, this guy is bad. Like this is a bad dude.
I think the coolest part about it too is that he implies that he's only able to do that because he also has manipulated them slowly over the course of time.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not the only one I've been like working my way into. Like, watch this.
Your whole army.
Like, yeah, I own all these fucking idiots. Like they're all weak.
The whole
compared
town.
to you, and they're all I got them by the balls.
But that was very, very, very cool. The next thing that we're gonna see is back to the troll.
Back to Damrod, baby.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Back to Damrod.
And cool scene.
It was cool. Yeah, no, it was cool. You got Arondir and Elrond working together. Elrond's able to use what's left of the Ravager against him and just gives him a blow to the belly. And you just look
like gut.
Yeah, right in the gut.
Shattered as shit.
Ow!
Yeah. Internal bleeding. 10 broken ribs. Like, shattered as shit.
That awful feeling when you like take a terrible dig when you're snowboarding and you just can't breathe. You just land on the ground. You're like,
yep.
Lungs just aren't working at all. Dude, getting the fucking wind knocks out of you sucks.
Yeah, it's a horrible 10 to 15 seconds.
It really
horrendous.
Yep.
It's so bad.
I thought it was only like 8 seconds usually.
Yeah, why is it still going?
Yeah, for real. Like, am I actually gonna die? Is this it?
Yeah.
But this is when Gil-galad comes riding in. Gil-galad, the High King, he comes rolling on in. He's able to like trip up with a little rope fucking, I don't even know, rope spear fucking kind of thing. Yeah. Pulls the troll down, and then him, Arondir, Elrond, the three of them, enough to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, pretty sweet. With Gil-galad doing the finishing blow.
Yeah. Gil-galad had a good episode, like I said.
Joel just sitting there laughing too while it's going on.
That was cool.
That was awesome.
Ultra evil.
Yeah.
That's what evil people do. Reminds me of like the Joker.
Yeah.
I wanted some more Gil-galad though. I feel like we missed out on some of that.
I don't think you're wrong.
But and then even though he killed this Damrod guy, if you go back and look at the shot, his like killing stroke is just him on his horse stabbing downwards. You can't see like any of Damrod in the shot. Like, you see that, and then you see him like 10 feet away, while Damrod like slumps to the ground. It was kind of just, I don't know. They definitely skimped on that. They could have shown him.
I totally get
Yeah, just ripping his stomach open.
And that maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a gore thing, but like you said, they've been leaning into it more. So
yeah,
I don't think that's a good enough excuse.
Oh, anything with a troll is going to be like CGI related, so that's just like almost excess stuff that I'm sure that they probably.
Is this worth $1 million or?
Yeah. We can put it into getting more horses and more men for that fucking wild scene. It's just like, yeah, all right.
Right. And in that same vein, too, I feel like they skimped on extras for the elves through this whole thing. There's no feel for, like, how many people are in the elven army or how many, like, villager, like, city people there are or anything. Like,
yeah, no, I got
the biggest shot of elves is...
That charging.
The charge.
Yeah.
But even just the city, there's, like, 20 elves at once at any point through the whole...
Oh, yeah, no. Eregion does not look well manned at all.
Like,
but I would assume that has to come partially because of the lack of leadership at the moment.
Right. Yeah, but I don't know. I'd like to know if it's actually, like, 100 people there, like it seems like?
Yeah,
or
what's the
is
count
it,
here?
I would assume it's more like 10,000 or something, but I don't know. It's like the number 2 Elvish city, but
No, that there is definitely some holes there. You're absolutely right. Especially because at one point Sauron's like prepare for ground assault, and you don't see any of Eregion's soldiers in the fucking ground. You just see Elrond's little, very makeshift force,
right.
waiting to get to the morning for Durin to arrive. You don't see Eregion shoulders anywhere.
Right. And we just see the same 10 or 15 guys a few
Sure,
times, the
yeah.
ones that like scoop up Elrond and try to put him in jail and stuff. Or,
It's a good call. No, that's definitely.
but again, maybe we'd rather
Filming
have the
plots.
realistic horses, and we can assume that there's more hidden people. If that's the trade-off, then cool. I wish they just dumped another 10% into the budget to
right.
get some extras, but
No, that's a good call. That's actually that's absolutely a good call. This is when we kind of mentioned earlier, but this is when Adar is like, all right, like it's time for me to actually join the fucking field myself. He's gonna just charge head on, and we're gonna find out that Durin pulled his guys. Like he couldn't. He was more like we said, kind of they're super loyal, but that loyalty to your home comes at birth, whereas Elrond didn't come for however many years until they met each other. And then this not a new allegiance, but this new pact that they had for this battle was super fresh. It's probably only a couple weeks old.
right.
So Khazad-dûm was the way. Luke said, though, a good point. Like, you couldn't have just sent, like, 100 guys back. You had to pull the entire fucking army back. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Right, but the stakes are high. Like,
It's true.
they,
It's your home.
how much do they know about the Balrog? Like, they just kind of know something evil is lurking, or do they know that this is a Balrog that
That's
will
what it
destroy
is.
everything?
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem like they know, like... I feel like them, like that, Navri... Look at me. I'm fucking off this dial. This fucking, he says like he's gonna like unleash the beast or whatever. That was the first time that I was like, they know something's there. Like Dees has that moment where like the water splashes up and it seems like there's something underneath the water, but it's no hint of it being the Balrog.
Right.
So I don't like. That's a great question. Like that's another thing that almost could be considered a plot hole. I feel like if that's the case, because there's been no mention from dwarf to dwarf or Durin or the king about there being a creature of any variety.
Like how intimidated they are by it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's very strange. I feel like we might be missing some detail, but I cannot remember them specifically mentioning it. It seems like they're like they've been worried about things in the deep and stuff like that, but never like there's something about to break through if we go any farther. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel like at least, I mean, my interpretation's always been the bigger problem is like if we mine too deep, like the thing's gonna collapse in on us. We're gonna have dwarven,
Right.
trapped however many 100 feet on the ground or whatever it is.
Right.
But like you said, morning comes, they don't show up. The general fucking comes back.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Heartbreaking.
Elrond, like we said, Elrond's just fucking, he can't believe it.
Yeah.
Devastated. Absolutely devastated. But this is when that final elven stand comes, and there's literally, like you said, like 30 of them tops against a whole fucking army.
Yeah, not good.
This is when we see Gil-galad, though. He starts swinging that spear around. He fucks up a whole bunch of people. This is when he has that cool line, too, where he's like, you shouldn't, Elrond's like, you shouldn't be here. And he's like, a king is where he's needed most. And he just starts swinging that spear around and fucking everybody up.
Yeah. Bastards! I'm William Wallace.
A lot of Braveheart talk. So this is cool. Arondir does what he does occasionally, and he fucks up some people. And this was really cool. Not as a dog, like, don't get me wrong, I don't need any more Arondir in my life, so when he died, I was like, cool. But the way that he died, Adar is so cool. Like, he fires that arrow at him, and Adar literally, like, moves and catches the fucking arrow. I was like, that was cool.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah. And then stabs Arondir with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking sick.
And then, like, Arondir, like, does the same thing, and then that's when he stabs him with the sword, like, right through the fucking gut.
Yeah.
And I was like, sweet, one character off the board that I don't care about that I no longer have to watch.
You guys actually think he's done? I don't think he's done yet.
Oh, really?
No. I don't think so.
Can he be?
It said that simultaneous.
Just gotta trim the fat a little bit here.
Oh, man.
Trim some of the fat.
Guarantee he gets a come out of nowhere moment. I don't know. We'll see. oh shit, he didn't die.
For what purpose?
I don't know. They really pushed how much he wanted the vengeance on Adar, and then they just had him get murked out in a cool action sequence, and I thought there would be more to it.
True. For somebody who's been there for almost two full seasons now.
Right.
I love that.
But that's where it should be. Yeah.
I love the stakes. Right. No one's safe.
Yeah.
That's
right.
why Game of Thrones is like. That's why it was so good. Is
Yeah.
because no one's fucking safe.
Yeah.
And it's like we take this guy that you spent a decent amount of time with, not so much in season 2. In season 1, like Arondir Bronwyn, that was like one of the main plot lines. Yeah. This season, he's taken a big time back seat. Like he's had just moments here and there. So actually, I feel like I don't know, him dying makes I feel like things like have some stakes.
Yeah. I think he could still maybe die next episode for real, doing something else. But I don't think he's done yet.
That's one of my biggest things, man. I honestly, I know it sounds like, I don't know, morbid, I guess, but that to me is something that like elevates shit from like good to great, is the fact that like death sometimes is good for a story. Like it makes it more emotional. It makes it more impactful. You know what I mean? Right. So me and Holly watched It Part 1 last year, and we just watched It Part 2 the other day. We just finished it.
Yeah.
The best change from It, the original, to the new one is obviously Eddie. Like they
made
Eddie a fantastic character.
Yeah.
Eddie dying at the end of the second one is great. Like it makes me super sad.
Right.
But it makes it feel more real than like if all of them get out alive.
True,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Somebody's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the guy that, like we just said, elevated from the most from the original.
Yeah.
Everybody I felt like loved them in these new ones.
Yeah.
And then you take him out and it's saving fucking Bill Hader.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man,
Yeah,
like,
it is
that hurt.
tragic,
Like, that
yeah.
hurt. Like it was genuine. That was my biggest. Neither of you guys are Stranger Things fans, huh?
No.
The fuck, man. I'm surrounded by schmucks.
I'm sorry.
This season, they had, at the end, like in the finale for the season, they had one of the main characters, you guys know it's a pack of kids, one of the main kids die. And it was like very, very, like I was sad as fuck. Like I was devastated. I was
It was also
oh my
5 seasons
God.
in or whatever, right? 4 or 5 seasons in, so you had a lot of time invested too.
Exactly, which is even more important because we know that 6 is the last season. So it's like, oh man, like this is the last episode before the next season. I was like, oh man, this sets the tone. Like, no one's safe now. And they literally like didn't kill her like at the end of the season. Like she's in a coma, and I'm like, oh my God.
No, not the coma. No.
Yeah, I was like, you guys ruined. You guys did a great death. Like, and it was good. Like the death itself was really, really good. They nailed it. I was like, wow, like that was it was perfect, even though it made me sad. You know what I mean?
And then to take that away.
Yeah, and then they ruined it.
No.
Yeah, and they ruined it. Well, hopefully Arondir is dead. I'm gonna pretend Luke didn't just say that. But the elves are being defeated, and this is where we lead off. Adar he's like standing over Elrond. Elrond tries to do a little sneaky stab. And then Adar uses his elvish wisdom, and he's like, yo, you're going against your own fucking motto. And he's like, you're waging war out of anger. And then he snatches the ring up out of his hand, and the episode ends with Adar having Galadriel's ring.
Crazy.
Great ending.
Yeah.
Great ending. Great way to end off leading into a finale, too.
Yeah. So he'll probably put it on right away, right?
I have to imagine.
Slip that thing on. Put a ring on it.
Nice white diamond. Looks totally not feminine at all.
Yeah.
It'll look great around the ring of the finger of an orc.
Yeah. I saw a theory that maybe when he puts it on, he'll like turn back into like a pure elf.
Ooh.
Something like that.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
I don't know. We shall see. He's a made-up character completely. He's not in any of the lore. Yeah. Adar is not a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
I was so astounded. I smacked myself.
Yep, he's a made-up guy.
That's wild.
That makes me like him even more then.
Yeah, no
They did
shit.
such a
That's
good job with
crazy.
him.
He's such a good character. He's not a part of, like, lore. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That makes that makes me almost
even just like all the stuff he's doing with like the Uruks and like all that. That's all kind of like not really defined ground. They're kind of like muddying the waters on what a Uruk is, and I don't know. I don't know enough about it to really dive in, but
man,
they're
I actually
really
love
muddying
it.
those waters.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah. Hats off to them then.
For real.
Yeah, I think it's a good change, and he's been a great part of both seasons.
Damn, that's wicked cool. Big episode ending, and then we hit like super heavy death metal music, but
That was sick.
like
It was awesome.
orc version. That was wild. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know about you guys too. I like to watch the little after the episode thing, so I like listened to the whole way through. I like thought it would end after like, I don't know, like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And it
Like the whole song.
It goes for like 2 minutes. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Right? I wonder if it's
heavy.
like, is it like, Bulgarian or is it like black speech?
To me, guessing black speech.
If it's black speech,
Guessing
death
black
metal, that's
speech.
fucking
Yeah,
sick.
that
Yeah,
is
that's what it
awesome.
sounded like.
That's fucking sick.
Do you guys see the preview?
I did.
not.
Yeah,
You
that's
did-
also
you
why
did.
I was surprised it was 2 minutes long because I didn't know until the last time we did this that they had post credits. So I was just
Yeah.
hanging out waiting for the post credits, and I was like, "Man, this song just keeps going on and on and on."
Yeah.
It is weird because Amazon's like not consistent. Like if you watch it right away as soon as the episode drops, the after stuff like
No, it
isn't
took a little
there.
bit. Yeah, it took a little bit.
They like
It was
plug
almost
it in
loading.
after.
Right, it's like part of the inside the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of
We see the stranger. They're back. Thank God. Not thank God, but I love that storyline. He's gonna meet with the evil wizard, so that's a cool meeting when you
gotta
get
wrap
that.
that up.
Durin's gonna square off with his dad. That one's another one that's gonna be big. And then we see Sauron like reclaim his fucking crown. So we got some big things.
And a
that
glimpse
are
too,
gonna
right?
happen.
Glimpse of the Balrog too, no?
Yikes.
Oh, I think yeah.
Caught a glimpse of the
Yes.
Balrog in there too.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Excited and sad that there's one left. Like this should be an awesome episode. But
Yeah.
I could easily take more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
Been a good season. It's been a good season. There was like
2 for 2.
2 episodes that I didn't like. I think it was 3 and 4 or 3 and 5, something like that. But for the most part, I've really enjoyed a lot of the rest of this season. Excited for tomorrow's finale. I'm sorry, I keep saying
Thursdays.
tomorrow, but when it drops, it will be tomorrow. So
Yeah.
that's the mindset.
Right.
People, you know what I mean? It comes tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow. You know what I mean? And I'm excited for Thursday's finale. I honestly, I kind of need this show to wrap up because I'm so overwhelmed right now between Penguin. I haven't even started Agatha yet. I'm trying to get ready for the show I've told you guys about at the end of October or towards the end of October. So I've been trying to prep for that one a lot, which that's been a lot of work. And then it's spooky season, so I'm trying to watch a bunch of horror movies and shit like
Busy.
that. It is, man. It's crazy. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this finale. I think it's going to be good. This was a damn good episode of television.
It was really good. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I think this was a contender for the best episode of the season or for the show.
I think so.
Yeah.
Contender, at least, is a great way to put it.
Yep. There was some
If it's not, it's
funky,
right there.
funky stuff, and they changed some things from from the lore, but I think it was not something to get your panties in a bunch about. Like the internet seems like they did.
It's just ridiculous.
Especially if
story.
it's that kiss that people were pissed about. And be like, bro, you just use your simplistic brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing lore-y or sexual or anything about this.
Yeah,
This
then I'm
is-
trying to make it a love story thing.
This
Yeah,
is simple soldier like trying to get one of them out of prison. That's all that this boils down to.
Right. I thought it was really good. Another thing I didn't get a chance to say at the beginning, but the name of the episode is "Doomed to Die,"
Yup.
which is part of the writing that's on the One Ring. It's like 9 rings to rule the 9 rings for the realms of men, doomed to die.
Oh, you know what? Now that you say that, I
Sweet.
remember that too.
Yep.
I remember Galadriel saying that in the opening thing.
Yeah, so that's the part that comes directly after 9 rings to rule the realms of men, doomed to die, and then the next line is in 1 ring to rule them all. So that's probably gonna be the last episode.
Yeah. Nice.
So I don't know if he's gonna forge it next episode, or probably that'll be the last episode of the whole show. Is him forging the ring? I don't really know.
I'm really hoping that basically as soon as we leave here, I get to go watch like that scene. I watch Fellowship because that's really what I want to do right now.
Yes.
I want to smoke again. I want to eat something. I want to watch Fellowship.
Nourishment.
Do you guys have anything else?
I'm good, baby.
No.
That's
Excited
it.
for it.
All right. Good episode. Next week we can, if you guys are both down, we can get together for the last recap and talk about the season as a whole.
Down.
Then we just keep on moving forward.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Show goes on.
Yeah. All right. So I would say expect that. Say next week we'll probably be back with the 3 of us again. We'll recap the last episode. We'll talk about the season as a whole. And I think that's going to be about it for us here tonight. Go check out the fucking back to school draft because it's
Yeah,
fucking
it's a
good.
good time. We had fun,
Yeah, it was fucking good.
and I probably won. So vote for me.
Don't
I
vote.
did not.
It's gonna be on Twitter. Just vote for me.
But thanks as always as watching everybody, and happy watching.
See ya.
Shoot.